Why is it that the man who seems most awake, most alive, and most certain of his path often looks like he's walking through life alone? You've seen it, maybe even felt it yourself, that strange space where you know you are choosing a different road, and suddenly the world doesn't quite understand you anymore. Alan Watts once said, "The more a thing tends to be permanent, the more it tends to be lifeless." What he meant is that real life, real freedom, is fluid. It shifts, it moves, it refuses to be locked down. A chosen man, someone who truly decides to live by truth rather than by habit, can't stay in the comfort of the crowd. His life flows where others are too afraid to go. And that is why, from the outside, he always looks like he's walking alone. But this loneliness is not emptiness. It is not weakness. It is the price of clarity. Most people live by default. They wake up, repeat yesterday, chase the same desires, laugh at the same distractions. They do not stop to question, because questioning threatens the fragile little world they've built. The chosen man, however, refuses to be asleep. He sees the illusions, he asks the uncomfortable questions, and he understands, as Marcus Aurelius once wrote, that the approval of the crowd is worth nothing if it means losing yourself. So he walks a different road, and that road rarely has company. Think about the first time you tried to change something in your life. Maybe you stopped drinking, or decided to spend less time with shallow friends, or said no to a path that everyone else told you was safe. Do you remember what happened? People didn't applaud, they questioned you. Some even mocked you. Some quietly drifted away. That is the reality of the chosen path. The moment you step outside the script, you find yourself standing on ground where fewer people dare to walk. There are a few deep reasons why the chosen man seems to always walk alone. The first is that he values depth over distraction. The world is full of noise, social media that eats your attention, shallow friendships, temporary highs that leave you emptier than before. Most people don't notice because they've numbed themselves, but a chosen man does. He would rather have one honest conversation than 100 empty ones. He would rather spend a night in silence reflecting than drown in shallow entertainment. That preference, though powerful, makes his circle small, but it makes it real. The second reason is that he lives without a script. The world loves predictability. It hands you a pre-written plan: school, job, marriage, mortgage, retirement, death. Step out of line, and you'll be reminded that you're strange or difficult or selfish. But the chosen man refuses this. He takes the harder option, freedom. And freedom, as Alan Watts explained, is terrifying because it comes with uncertainty. No one tells you where to go. No one guarantees success. And because so few are willing to embrace that risk, the man who does finds himself walking apart. The third reason is responsibility. A chosen man knows that his life is his responsibility alone. He doesn't blame fate, luck, or the government. He doesn't sit around waiting for rescue. He accepts the full weight of his choices. That kind of accountability is rare. People may call it pride or stubbornness, but it's really strength. It's the ability to carry your own load without needing constant validation. And when you live this way, you cannot lean on the crowd, because the crowd does not want that burden. The fourth reason is loss. When you choose truth, you lose what is false. It is not always dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle. A friend stops calling. A partner no longer understands you. Family begins to say, "You've changed." And they're right, you have. Alan Watts once described this as trying to hold water in your hand. The tighter you grip, the more it slips away. The chosen man doesn't chase after what is leaving. He lets it flow. And in that letting go, he gains space for what is real. But that space can look, from the outside, like loneliness. The fifth reason is that he learns to face silence. Most people can't stand to be alone with their own thoughts. That's why there's endless distraction. TV running in the background, phones lighting up every minute, music blasting even when it's not needed. Silence feels unbearable because it forces you to face yourself. But the chosen man makes peace with silence. He doesn't just tolerate it, he learns from it. In the stillness, he sees clearly. He becomes intimate with his own mind, and in that intimacy, he finds strength that no crowd can give. And here's the paradox. The man who walks alone isn't actually alone. He feels more connected than anyone else. He sees how fleeting and precious life is. He feels tied to nature, to truth, to the rhythm of existence itself. Marcus Aurelius called it living in accordance with nature. Alan Watts called it becoming one with the flow. Whatever words you use, it means the same thing. The chosen man's solitude is not empty. It's living space. It's freedom. This is why he doesn't beg to be understood. He doesn't need everyone to agree. His life is not a performance for the crowd. It is a quiet alignment with something larger, something eternal. And though people may see him walking alone, what they don't see is the invisible company he keeps, the wisdom of the past, the clarity of the present, and the call of the future. So if you felt that your path is pulling you away from the crowd, don't see it as a punishment. See it as a sign that you are alive, that you are listening, that you are awake. Yes, it is difficult. Yes, you will lose people. Yes, you will question yourself. But you will also gain something priceless, the ability to live without masks, without illusions, without fear of being different. The chosen man walks alone because he must, but in that solitude, he becomes more himself than he ever could in a crowd. And the truth is, he is never completely alone. There are others scattered across time and space, walking their own chosen paths. When you walk yours, you join them, not by sight, but by spirit. So the next time you feel like you're alone on your journey, remember this: solitude is not emptiness, it is space. And in that space, you will discover strength, peace, and a freedom that the crowd will never know. If this spoke to you, if you felt even a spark of recognition, don't just move on. Share your thoughts below. Subscribe to The Untroubled Stone and walk with us, not as a crowd, but as a community of chosen men and women who are willing to live awake. Because even if the chosen man walks alone, he is never truly without those who seek the same light.